So I'm going to try this again. When kids talk back to adults, part 2. And of course, as soon as I start talking, Mr. Fuss is fussing. Stop it. You got what you wanted. I've been fussing since, I don't know, 1:32 a.m. this morning. Starting with Andre not wanting to get off the computer. Nope. Just beacon me off. Because he was under the impression that Uncle Marcane, gave him the permission to be on the computer for as long as he wanted all night because he earned it because he did a little bit of schoolwork. Okay, yeah, well, that's up for debate. Anyway, he worked hard on it, but besides that point, I'm not saying he didn't work hard on what he was given. He should be further ahead in terms of grade level, but besides that point, it didn't give you the right to beat me off all night until 8:30 this morning when I had to call Marcane to let him know that you refused to get off the computer. So basically, you were on it for 10 hours. From 10 o'clock at night until 8:30 in the morning. That's like 10 and a half hours. Anyway, I'm not talking to you. What I want to do is I want to do a screen share about how young people are being manipulated to behave a certain kind of way towards adults, their caregivers, okay? Whether it's parents, aunts and uncles or whatever, grandparents. Because with my experience over the years raising kids and then having to compete with a computer when they first started to come out and how it influenced my kids to turn them into little green-eyed monsters with yappity yap yap because they felt entitled that they had the right to play the computer when they maybe should have been doing something else. And then when the cell phones came and they started getting their own cell phones, it just got worse with the yippity yip yip, right? Because there's a lot of subliminal messaging going on in there. So not only are they getting manipulated through the types of games that they're playing, and we're not talking about Pac-Man here, okay? Or The Sims back in the day, right? The games were much more innocent. And even then, they were very controlling and, captured the mind and distracted young people from developing in areas where, it grooms their morality, their self-respect and the respect that they have for others in terms of being quote unquote civil, right? And then of course, as the games started to change, the computer games on the computer, I don't play computer games, people. I don't. I chose to take my computer time and I founded a nonprofit, wrote, bylaws and created web pages, learned how to read at least basic HTML, code, JavaScript. Stop it! What are you fussing for? You got everything you need. You're just being a fusspot. So anyway, and then of course the games became more and more violent, right? More and more aggressive. And as more people started bringing in computers into the house because they became affordable. Oh my God. My nerves are so freaking frazzled. So freaking frazzled. Do you have to poo? Is that it? What's going on with you? Just gonna delete this one, I think. This is stupid. It's just sitting here talking to myself anyway. You can't really do much when he's got a poo, right? Anyway, the game started to get more violent, more cagey. You know, where they're stalking, and I don't know. All I know is it. You know, it's I don't have the statistics. How the computer, with the subliminal messaging that goes through it, however, or even on the cell phones, how people are being influenced to think one way or to do things that they normally wouldn't do, or to react a certain kind of way that they probably know is wrong, but they do it anyway because it's the cool thing to do, or it aligns with whatever it is that they're repetitively doing when they're playing these games. You notice I'm talking and he's getting louder, right? Right? I'm talking and you're getting louder. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. Oh, my Lord. I can't do it for you. Only you can do it. Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, you're just getting loud. That's not what? You're just hollering. That's it. Okay, I'm coming to see what's going on. What are you doing? Why are you having a hissy fit? You don't even know what you're fussing for. Yeah, right. Don't make those noises. Those noises aren't funny. I don't like those noises. No. Here. I can't do nothing for you. You only can do that for yourself. You can only do that for yourself. What the heck was that? No, stop it. Stop it. Okay? That's not funny. You're not being funny. No, that's not being funny. Oh boy. My lordy lordy. Here you go. I don't know where your talking bear is. It disappeared. All of them. Now I'm going to have to find them. You need to find your talking bears. I know if you had your talking bear, you'd be happy right now. Right? I don't know where it is. Things get tossed around. Here, try this toy. What do you think about that one? Okay, we're going to try that. Okay. Let's see. Gotta have a bowel movement. Yeah, fusses with it sometimes. All right. So anyway, there's this video I want to do screen share on and talk about it in relation to this subject. Yeah. Because I know I'm not the only caregiver, whether it's a grandparent looking after their grandkid or a parent, mother or father or whatever, or foster parents, aunts and uncles and those kind of things, right? Okay, so hold on a minute. How do we do this? I'm having to do a solo here. Henri's mad at me right now. Yeah. Okay, so here it is. This is the video that I want to play. Okay. If kids could talk to their parents, how they actually want to, part 1 of 5. Now, I don't know where all the other videos are. All I know is I started listening to this one. And this one, from what I'm hearing, kind of already makes me think that, okay, is this where kids learn it from? Because they're learning it from somewhere, people, because I know I'm not the only one, because I've seen other videos with people bringing in ranky kids disrespecting their parents, right? And what do you call it? Disrespecting their parents, and then getting this zombie look about them sometimes, like, you know, like I don't know, like they're zoning out because they're so involved with these computer games that are rewiring their brains. And then because there's so many of these kids playing the same games, you know, they're like little cyborgs, right? You know, they're mimicking each other, and they have their own method on these games to insult each other, bully each other, chase each other, try and take out each other in terms of, you know, taking them out, annihilating them, right? Destroying them, all under the rouge of a game, right? And then because they're so involved with the dopamine and you know, the endorphins are just like, right, and everything's just, the cortisol is going at, right, that, you know, when a parent says enough is enough, it's time to shut it down, they don't want to. They feel that they have a right to continue doing that for another 25 hours if their body would allow them to. So now you're battling with a computer more than you're battling with the kid, as the kid themselves are getting corrupted. And what I mean by corrupted is that, you know, they're becoming rebellious, right? You know, where it's over exaggerated, right? You know, it's one thing to be rebellious, but it's another thing when it becomes over exaggerated and, you know, habitual, right? Where, you know, the level of rebellion borderlines on hostility. And then, you know, it's like anything, right? The more you do, the more apt you're going to, right? Especially if it's abusive behavior, and being rebellious is a form of abusive, or it can at least lead into abusive behavior, right? And yeah, so anyway, let's listen to this kid. I guess these are called memes or something, or skits. This is not real. This is somebody acting out, right? What kids would say if they actually could. Well, I don't know. I think lots of kids already talk like this. You see, that's the thing. And a couple of 2-3 videos that I've seen in relation to this subject, kids are talking like this to their parents. And when mine were growing up, I got a little bit of lip, right? You know, some were more lippy than others, but it wasn't habitual, that's for sure. Right? And it wasn't it wasn't a given, right? Like it just, you know, every now and then, you know, a couple times with Shimei, things would flare up. She'd be, and I'd be, okay. But, you know, I can't think of many times that happened. Like, you know, from the time she turned, we'll say 12, right up until the time she died, and she died at 22. So within a 10-year period where there's those terrible teens in there, right? I can only think of maybe 2 or 3, 4 times where there was direct conflict between me and her. Maybe a few more in there, but nothing that stands out. However, she bucked the bullet with me on certain things. In other words, she wouldn't take my advice to, you know, okay, you graduated with honors, now you need to go to college, but I don't want to. I want to work at McDonald's and save money to pay for school. And then she met Julian and ended up dead. So if she would have taken my advice, I don't think she would have met Julian, and she'd be alive today, you know. But then other factors were involved with her poor decision making, like when Uncle John was medically kidnapped, that put everybody into depression. So, you know, either or, you know, she pretty much worked up right up until the end, except for the last couple of months of her pregnancy. And then after that, she was going to go back into college and, you know, start with her nursing, but she got murdered. So, right. And I just feel that if she would have listened to me better, in terms of not better, if she just would have listened to me maybe a bit more and stayed focused on what she wanted to do in terms of becoming a nurse, maybe things would have been different, right? Instead of being stubborn. Okay? Like when Shimei died, for example, I'll use this for an example, and I had to go to court for temporary custody and then file for custody papers. My lawyer at that time, right, who had helped me with Andre when I was fighting for Andre, you know, he was really sad that Shimei was dead, right? And he showed me a picture of his mom when he was a little boy. And he goes, you know, I didn't have a choice. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm a lawyer now, right? Like, there was no choice. In other words, my mom made me go to college and go to, you know, become a lawyer. That's what he was saying. Where, like, you know, because Shimei was smart, she should have just went straight into college and started working on her nursing career. But she wouldn't listen to me. She thought she knew everything. She was a computer Rambo, right? She could beak off if she wanted to. She didn't play games. Instead, she tried to teach herself different languages by learning to speak it and write it and read it. That was, you know, but when it came to actual computer, you know, that wasn't her thing. But she got influenced by the cell phone and by the computer, and then got it in her head that she was going to do this and this and this and just whatever. And like when I told her to leave Julian, he's a bad seed, get rid of him. Why would you want him? He's nothing but trouble. Oh, but he's going to change. And I'm like, you don't understand. Guys like that don't change. And sure enough, he didn't change. And before she could fully break away, he took her out. And that's just a fact. Well, his sister is still stalking me to this day, making stupid little comments on TikTok, because I happen to have like 4 or 5 videos on there, just so that she can, bring it to my attention that she's still stalking me after all these years. Like, give it a break. Okay, that's just one example. Marcane, he didn't start talking back to me really until his later years in life, and he got frustrated with life, and it wasn't going the way he wanted it to go in terms of being a man, and forging your own way, and having your house by the time you're 35, and you're well on your way with a retirement fund, and blah 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 blah. Life ended up being a little harder, and he felt shortchanged for whatever reason, and then he held a grudge against me over it, right? And so that gave him reason to start balking at me in his late 20s, have a couple tantrums here and a couple tantrums there, when more of it was displaced anger, and he was just blowing off steam because of the crap that he was having to deal with, out in the real world, right? And then, of course, he met somebody that has their own agenda where I don't fit in with that agenda, basically, which is pushing me out away from my family further and further. Okay. Well, I've got a grandson now that is kind of a little bit on that bandwagon, because what's happening here is, I'm trying to set boundaries, get Andre to accept responsibility, age gracefully in terms of it's okay to grow up. It's okay to become responsible. It's something that you want to do because you want to stay 2 steps ahead of the game and not behind. So in order to get 2 steps at least ahead, you have to work on becoming responsible, getting your priorities in order, doing the priorities first before you sit there and play a computer game for 10 to 12 hours that's teaching you nothing but to be aggressive, hostile, and sucking the life out of you and dumbing you down, so that when the shit really does hit the fan, you're not going to be able to cope with it because you don't have your priorities in order. You didn't take the time to learn those life skills, right? And then you're going to blame everybody else, like you blame now me for whatever it is that you can't have now. Well, it's your fault I can't play the computer. You took all my fun away. Well, yeah, because you've been rude to me and you've been mouthy to me, and you're not doing the simple things that I'm asking you to do when it comes to basic shit that is a daily living chores, and just so that you can survive this crazy world that we live in. Anyway, let's listen to this for a minute. Let me just see what's going on here first. Of course, YouTube shadow banning, YouTube's favorite trick. Yeah. So we're going to listen to this video here for a second, and for a minute. And then I'm going to just stop and talk about it, because I think that's how it works, right? If I remember correctly, because I got a lot of brain fog, with all this stress. If I don't get stress from one end, I get it on the other end, and then I get it over there.
Stop wasting my time.
Okay. So now what this is some kid doing a skit, talking to his parents or parent, right? If it's just a skit, right? He's only saying the things that he wishes he could say. The problem is, though, kids are talking to their parents and their caregivers and adults and the elderly already like this. So I don't see it as a skit, although I know this is what this is, because I've seen videos where kids have actually acted like this with their parents. Plus, I experienced it myself, right? Which is a problem for a lot of people. So let's just listen to this for a minute.
Dad, please shut the Like,
Dad, please shut the F up. Well, isn't that interesting? This kid actually said, please. Yeah, as if. As if. When a kid's on that path, do you honestly think they're saying please? No, they don't say please.
please, I'm begging you. All you do is complain. Nobody wants to hear that.
So here you got a kid telling his parent, his dad of all things, that all dad does is complain. And he ain't got no right to complain, as if the kid has a right to tell the parent how to behave. I have that problem with Andre. Andre seems to think he can tell me how to think and behave and what I'm allowed to say or do. Yeah. So is it because he watched videos like this and he laughed and he thought it was funny? And being that he thought it was funny and, it's easy to talk like that, it's okay to talk to me like that. And I tell him, you talk to me like that. And then what? You're going to go out in the society and you're going to talk to elderly people like that. You're going to talk to other adults down the street like that. Wherever you come into contact with people that are older than you think you're going to have a right to talk to them like that because you talk to me like that? Yeah, okay. I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ, stop wasting my time.
Oh, I get that too. I get that too. And it's not a joke. It's not a skit. It's not a meme. That's how I get talked to. And then if I take it to my son and I try and tell my son something along the lines of what I'm talking about here, because my son likes to choose sides. Well, over the last several years of all this nonsense with my stuff being thrown out and yada yada yada, I guess Andre's given into it because, if Marcane can talk to me like that, well, I guess Andre can talk to me like that. And then when I go talk to my son, oh, well, and I don't want to criticize you, Mom, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, like today, I went downstairs this morning because Andre wanted to not go to sleep. And finally, by 8:30 in the morning, I called my son and I said, look, he's been up all night. He won't go to sleep. It's been nothing but cheeky and mouthing with me. My son called him and his whole demeanor changed. He responded to my son in a bright, happy, polite way and got off the phone and turned off the computer. But yet he was disrespectful with me for hours and hours and hours and hours and talking to me rude. And then when I went downstairs after the fact and I talked to my son, I said, remember when Andre was little and he was having his tantrums and he was going on and on and on and he frustrated you so much, it was driving you crazy that you hit the wall and got a big ass hole in my wall, right? And then that one time when you grabbed him by the scuff, boy, and right, because Andre just was, and this was when he was younger, right? To just put him in check, to show him who was boss. Your pop was bigger than Andre's pop. Well, I can't do that, right? I even if I raise my voice or whatever, it doesn't matter. In one out the other is just an opportunity for Andre to insult me, accuse me of this and accuse me of that and blame me for this and blame me for that. Well, he's still doing this. Telling me that he can do that for as long as he wants because I guess Uncle Marcane said he can now because he worked hard on his school. Yeah, all in moderation. What happened to the word moderation? As soon as you get the computer back, the moderation word goes out the freaking door. Okay. So I said to my son, right? I said, there needs to be some balance in here because it's like two parents parenting a child where the child is getting mixed messages and one parent, well, maybe both, I don't know, are expecting the child to pick sides, right? So, right? Because of whatever, I don't know. All I know is I don't want to say my son seems to think it's okay for Andre to disrespect me and trash talk me and be rude to me to the degree that he is, which is excessive in my opinion, because the computer influences the bad behavior when the kid themselves is a good kid, if that makes sense. But the kid becomes overstimulated, is hearing the same mantra on the game where bullies are bullying each other on the game, and especially if the game is violent, chasing each other, shooting at each other, blowing up each other, or whatever. You know how these games are these days, right? And then you get the bullies coming in, bullying, right? And then the kids that are being, they get they get a strike, and then they can't play for a week or whatever because of something that happened and they were falsely accused. Well, then the kid mopes around for a week because they're mad because they can't play because so and so on the internet bullied them and got them to lose their game for the week or whatever, right? Like, it's a vicious cycle. And I try and tell my son, like, he doesn't talk to you the way he talks to me, but for whatever strange reason, my son seems to think it's okay for Andre to trash talk me and be rude to me because he doesn't reprimand him. And if he does, I don't want to say it's in a minute kind of way, but that's basically what it is. It's, he trivializes it and doesn't like, right? If Andre talked, and I tell my son this, if Andre talked the way he does to me, to you, Marcane, you would go ballistic. Andre knows it, so he doesn't do it. And it doesn't matter what I say when he does it to me, because he acts like a little bully that can get away with it. So I had to take the computer away, the cord again today, this morning, because I went downstairs and I said to my son, you told him that he can play all night long. He just did this on like the 30th. I'm arguing with him at 5 o'clock in the morning to turn off the computer, right? Even though he's been on it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And now, it's like 8:30 in the morning and he don't want to turn it off because you told him that he could play all night because he did schoolwork. Okay, fine. There's a fine line in there in terms of what all night means. That's the first thing, right? And then, didn't want to do his laundry for a week. Doesn't want to help clean up the living room. Doesn't think he should have to do dishes. Have to do whatever. Okay? It's not just simply do your homework and then you get to be on the computer for the rest of your life as if homework is the only thing that is a priority, right? So in some ways, my son is enabling him to misbehave because he'll reprimand him for bad behavior if my grandson shows bad behavior towards my son. But if my grandson shows bad behavior towards me, then I'm the problem. And he feels sorry for Andre because Nana doesn't know what she's talking about. Or he'll just give Andre the advice, well, while you live under a roof, you got to follow her rules. You got to follow her rules while you live under her roof, kind of thing. But other than that, just do your schoolwork. Okay. Oh, well, what about dishes? And what about taking out the garbage without having to ask? Or what about doing his laundry that, or whatever? Oh, well, he's just a kid. He doesn't have to do that. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Why would you say that? He's 15 years old. What? He can't learn how to do fucking dishes? Sorry, boo-boo dishes properly? Right? Why does he need to be told to take out the garbage when he already knows it's been there for like 3 days and it needs to go out? Well, why? When he's doing this, he doesn't want to. And then after he gets off, he's drained. He's emotionally and physically drained. And if something bad happened on there, got bullied himself, or he lost his chance to play for a week because he got banned or whatever, and then he takes it out on me. Yeah. And right now he's mad because for as much work as he gets, it takes him hours and hours to do it because, high expectations, which is fine. I just tell him, the more you do it, the faster you'll get at it, but be aware that it's going to get harder in terms of math and, blah, 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 blah. So, it's right. But he figures once he's done that, that's it. There's nothing left to life. And he has a right to get moody with me because he never got to play the computer during the day because it took him too long to do what he was doing with the schoolwork, basically. So therefore, now he has the right to be on the computer until 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. And he started at freaking 7 at night. Like, come on. And my son wants to just be negligent so that Andre feels like he has an advocate, right? Because instead of working with me to help me mold him, Andre, that is, parent, whatever you want to call it, to grow up to be responsible, not afraid of responsibility, self-sufficient in terms of keeping your environment clean and those kind of things without being told, which a lot of kids can't do these days unless they're being told to do it, right? They just can't see, oh, gee, the dishes, oh, let me just do, or, oh, the garbage needs, oh, no, they wait. They wait for their parents to tell them. And even then, the parents are asking over and over and over and over again. Well, the kids are ignoring it. And then when, tensions build, then they get cheeky. And the bigger and the older they get, once they're on that path, they just get worse. They don't necessarily get better. Hell no. Right? And then they veer off to some freaking God knows what. And yeah. So let's just listen. Am I talking to myself? Oh, yeah. Just talking to myself. YouTube antics. That's what YouTube is all about. Oh, speaking of that, I've been watching this Wake Them Up so-called content creator acting all jivey and shit. Jivey, the man, bringing in all those little TikTok things where, talking about EBT being canceled, like SNAP benefits for the Americans and social housing with the Section 8 being canceled or whatever. Honestly, I think that so-called individual is AI. I think it's an AI-generated channel because I've been looking at that so-called individual with his dreadlocks and how they're moving around and with the arms and stuff, the way he doing his little devil shit, that, how they say that's the devil, right? Sign, right? But just, it gets lots of traffic. The point is, I wonder who's running that channel if it's AI. I don't think it'd be a black man, that's for sure. So we can't be surprised that I'm not getting any views here. No. Plus, the subject is serious. Okay, so let's listen. Okay, because even though this is just so-called play acting, it's not, though. You see, that's the thing. This is how people become desensitized to bad behavior.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Don't.
Do I get that from my grandson quite a bit when he doesn't want to take responsibility for bad behavior, when he doesn't want to do anything other than maybe what he's doing. I'm just saying.
Call this number again if it's not an emergency. I'm not playing with you, bro. Don't call this number again if it's not an emergency. Damn, man. No, Mom, I'm not coming home right now. I'll come home when I'm good and ready. I'm finna get some mom, okay? I'm finna get some. And don't try painting me like I'm a bad kid and you was an angel in high school, because you had Johnny at 19. I might be stupid, but I know simple math. That means you was getting at 18, mama. That means you was getting at 18. Don't try to act like you was an angel, because everybody knows the demon. You was a demon. You was on go. Oh, you was on go. On go like a green light, mama. I'll call you later, okay? Tell me where you are right now. I'm coming to get you. How about you mind your business, you stupid nosy?
Yeah, I get that too. That's another thing I might get. I dare my grandson to talk to my son, that man, like he talks to me. So where's he learning it from? Because there's nobody around here talking like that. The only place he could possibly learn, well, except for maybe my son, when my son is, raging. No, not raging like he used to, not as much. He holding back, right? But, when he wants to pop off like a rocket, he can just get, it's called verbal diarrhea, right? And I said, okay, fair enough. When people get angry, sometimes they say things they don't mean. But when it starts to become a habitual, it's becoming a problem, right? And yeah.
Send. Come on, girl. I'm ready for the next one. Let's get it. Hey, Jay, come wash these dishes. I'm not the one that made them dirty, so no, I'm not.
So dad's asking him to come and help wash dishes, right? And he's saying, well, I'm not the one that made them dirty. To hell with you. I get that too. I get the same kind of stupid shit. And my other kids, when they were growing up, whatever, now and then, I don't know, maybe all of them, maybe some of them, I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember I'd get that from them sometimes. They're not my dishes. Why should I have to wash them? Well, because some of those dishes in there were and are your dishes. And when you do dishes, you do all the dishes. So there's nothing new with dishes. Nobody likes to do dishes, but it's a part of growing up, don't you think?
Doing that.
But, when my son coddles my grandson and said, well, he's 15 years old, he shouldn't have to worry about that. He's just a kid. Okay, well, that doesn't sound like good messaging now, does it? So what? He's supposed to grow up for you, but not for me? Like, come on.
What did you say? You heard me the first time, Dad. Wash your own dishes. You.
Yeah. This is just play acting, but this is not play acting. No, you see, that's the thing. This stuff is going on in households. This is the way our kids are acting more and more. Not all kids. Some of them grow up to be lawyers because for however reason those parents got their kids to finish high school and go straight into college to become a lawyer. I don't know if those days are gone now or what you have to do in order to make that happen, right? In this day and age, considering all things said and what attracts our kids away from wanting to be responsible and grow up to be healthy and whole and productive. It's almost like those words are gone out of their vocabulary. Yeah.
Crazy, man. I never liked you. I never liked you. I never liked you. I never liked you.
I get that shit too. I'll say something, yada yada. I'll say something, yada yada. I'll say stay quiet, yada yada. I told you to stay quiet, yada yada. Leave me alone, yada yada. Okay? Same crap.
Never liked you. As soon as I get the money, I'm moving out and never coming back. I swear to God, I never liked you.
I'm the one that's going to move out and never come back. That's what's going to happen here. Yeah.
I never liked you.
You ain't never gonna be nothing.
Hit it.
Yeah. Oh, how do you deal with that? Okay, so what happens is that one could be, see, I can't. Sharing this tab too. What are you doing? I got to go check on him. Okay. Okay, he's okay. He was in the living room a couple of days ago. Andre was in there with him. And everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, Andre called me. And Amari was choking. And we came that close to a seizure. Happened out of nowhere. Amari was sitting up. And I don't know what the hell Andre doesn't know. All he knows is, and it was quiet. Andre didn't even hear it. I didn't hear it. I guess he turned around and he looked. And he could see, by the way, right? That's what I'm saying. Right? You know, you just, it takes two people to honestly keep an eye on Amari. So now I've been even more paranoid. I don't know why I can't get this. Oh my God. Here we go. I have to turn off the volume on this. I don't want a stupid copyright over a stupid ad. Yeah. But yeah, no. He was so quiet with it that I didn't hear anything and Andre didn't hear anything. Oh, so maybe there's 5 parts to this. It says 1 to 5. So now we're on part 2. So let's just continue, okay? Let's see. Am I still talking to myself? Yeah, still talking to myself. It's 12:15 p.m. and I'm still talking to myself. Oh, one person popped in and one person's probably going to pop out. Well, it is what it is.
The dishes not gonna wash themselves. Damn right. Better pick up a sponge and get the scrubbing. I need you to take trash out. I took it out the last 3 times. Stop acting like I'm your only.
I get that too. I asked to take out the trash. 3 days later, it's still there. Right?
Trying to go ask one of your other kids, like, bro, what?
And and I get it already. I gather up all the recycle and I put it by the front door and right? And it's just, I don't know. Kids only got this on their mind these days. And whatever else it is that they do when they're with their quote unquote friends. Yeah.
Baby going out again? Yeah, you're not minding your business again?
Yeah. Easy. I get that. Mind your own business. If you notice these words, where's Andre getting them from at 15 years old?
Clean your room. We got company coming over. Aren't you gonna be in the living room the whole time? Yeah. Then why the would I clean my room? You're not making sense right now, dog. Get the hell out and knock next time before you walk in. Get the out.
That's supposedly a teenager talking to his dad. And then he slams the door in his dad's face. Yeah, okay. That's something my son would do to me downstairs. He almost did it to me this morning. Yeah, because he started blah, blah, blah. I went blah, blah, blah. Because you're being misleading about what you're saying. And then he says, if you don't shut up and let me talk, I'm closing the door. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't care. Doesn't matter what you got to say as long as what I say gets out, even though what I'm saying is not true. And that's what I told him. Like, what you're saying is misleading, right? You're not saying it in the proper context. You may think you are, but you're not. So I tried to correct him, right, in terms of what we were talking about. And he didn't like that. And then he threatened to slam the door in my face. And he's done it before. So there's your role modeling. So where's my son at 34 years old learning that kind of behavior so that you got a 15-year-old acting the same damn way? Where does it come from? Some parents just beat their kids until they don't talk like that. I would have got beat with a belt, stand there with my pants down. And if I moved and hollered out, I would have got more swacks on my butt with a leather belt that was thick like this. 10 times. Boom, 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 boom. If I squirmed and moved and cried out too much, I'd get more. Oh, yeah. It wasn't a joke. It taught me discipline, though. It sure did. Yeah. It taught me to take my lumps, right? You think it was honky-dory and it felt good? Hell no. Have you ever had your bare butt smacked with a belt 10 times in a row? Maybe 1 time or 2 times on your thigh, upper thigh on the back because it missed the butt? Think about it. You can't even threaten to wash kids' mouths with soap these days. Andre, you're so potty mouth, your mouth needs to be washed with soap. Nah, well, I dare you to. You're not allowed to do that. As if I would. I just said you need to have it washed with soap. My mother would have fucking stuck a whole bloody bar of freaking soap in my mouth, people.
When was the last time you had a car wash? When was the last time you wanted?
It's like Mrs. Gill says, I'm one of the nicest persons that she ever freaking met. Okay? Because I was taught to respect my elders. How about that? You know what I'm saying? It came from somewhere. At the rate my grandson is going, he'll be at the freaking corner light there. Somebody will be sitting in a wheelchair, struggling to get onto the road, to cross the road. And my grandson will have such a bad freaking attitude. He'll just leave that person there. And the person will say, well, can't you see I'm struggling? Can you help? Oh, no. I don't like the way you look. You're ugly. And you're useless. And, you find your own way, you old fart. And just keep on walking like a freaking part-time hoodlum. Or I wouldn't even have to wait to ask, be told to ask, like to have somebody ask me. If I seen somebody struggling in a wheelchair trying to cross the freaking street, I'd offer my help. This generation, these days, far and few in between. They're too busy plotting and scheming how they can hurt them instead. Yeah. Steal something, who knows? Push the wheelchair so they fall down. Insult them so they go home with their feelings hurt, who knows? I guess it all goes back to that death culture, eh? What else is it?
Your business. It's been a while, hasn't it? Move, Mom. God damn, can you not? What if I was in there spanking my stuff? Oh, get out, man. Shit. Mom, can we talk McDonald's? No, I just could. We have food at home. I know we have food at home, but do we have good food at home? Okay, then exactly. Pull into McDonald's and shut up. Please don't talk again until they ask what I want to order. Thank you. You need to get off the game and go look for a job. And you need to get off my and go look for a new wife. Mom's cheating on you.
Yeah. You need to get up off the computer. Clean up the living room. You need to leave me alone. Because I earned the right to play the computer. Oh, really? But it's my computer. Yeah, but you don't use it. Okay, so what? It still belongs to me. Doesn't matter. You don't need it. You already got one. Leave me alone. That's the shit I have to listen to. And I'm like, okay, who's the adult here and who's the kid? Because clearly I'm not being treated like an adult. Well, my son fucking condones that stupid shit because it's not happening to him. But the minute Andre would start talking to Marcane like that, oh my God. Talk about SHIT. Or, how they say shit hits the fan. Yeah. Andre wouldn't dare talk the way he does to me to Marcaine. And if he did, he'd be turning around and gone before Marcaine could catch up to him. Oh, yeah. Big difference. So that makes me think of parents, when they split up, right? Mom and dad are, I suppose, co-parenting, but there's a lot of strife between the two, right? Because, they want the kid to choose sides. Yeah, basically. So they're pitting one against the other all the time, right? Where I told my son, I depend on you to help me and work with me, not freaking against me. Okay? Whether he's listening or not, I don't know. Because my son operates on a totally different freaking agenda here. And I'm the sacrificial lamb when it comes to whatever it is that he thinks that he's got going in terms of, I don't know.
Suburb. What? Come here. Bro, you're the one that wants to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. You come here. The f*** is the matter with you, bro? You need to finish college, son. For what? You finished college and look where I got you. You work at Amazon.
Did you hear how he said that? For what? I get that too. Aggressive, hostile behavior. Why? Where does it come from? Nobody's aggressive around here. There's not enough people for us to be aggressive around here. So where does it come from? It comes from the computer. That's where it comes from. And a whole bunch of monkeys see, monkey do's. Yeah. If it's not that, it's the cell phone with these little TikTok, whatever skits like this maybe going through, or memes or whatever. I can't compete with that. I'm tired of competing with a freaking computer, man.
How does it feel to know you want $80,000 in debt to work for another man's company, getting paid $18 an hour to drop off packages? Doesn't make you feel good, huh? Makes you feel dumb as f***, huh? Exactly. I don't want that feeling when I'm motor. No, I'm not finishing college. Get out.
Yeah, they'd push and close the door. Yeah. Even these kids are getting physical, pushing. Yeah.
Hey, you've been on the game all day. I need you to get off in 15 minutes. And you've been on my all day. I need you to get off.
You heard that one? You've been on that game, right? However long, you got 15 minutes. So dad's doing the right thing. He's giving his son a warning. You got 15 minutes to wind down and shut it off. What does this person say? This kid, so-called kid, young person, young man, whatever you want to call this person here. Oh, you've been on my so-and-so all day. Get off my and get out of here. I get that too. Oh, yeah, maybe not as crude as that, but I get it. Why? Why? Where does it come from? From that, people. So I took the computer away again. And now I'm being accused of being unreasonable because I want to take it away longer than just 4 days. Because 4 days is not enough to reverse the bad behavior that's being reinforced through these games. And, they wear their headphones, right? And these kids that play these games, they have their lingo, right? They're talking among themselves. And Andre's wearing headphones. And 4 days is not enough to behavior modification. It's just not. But because my son only grounded him for 4 days the last time he was acting out and misbehaving with me, and it wasn't that he grounded Andre for 4 days because he was acting out and misbehaving with me, he grounded him for not doing his homework in a timely manner. So he gave Andre 4 days. So now Andre thinks, well, as long as I can do my homework in a timely, quote unquote, manner, meet that expectation, every other expectation goes out the door. It doesn't matter what Nana wants. It doesn't matter how I talk to Nana or whatever, because it ain't going to matter because Marquet's not going to ground me for it. And if he does, if he does, because he hasn't yet. He hasn't yet. You see, that's the thing. Because I'm dealing with somebody that wants to have Andre choose sides. So he's working against me, not with me, which makes me think, okay, you have no kids yet, Marcade. You seem to think you know everything, but yet you've never raised not one kid, right? And you plan on having kids. You're far from the goalpost when it comes to dealing with what I'm dealing with. Never mind raising the kids to get to a certain age. And it's just a given. It's just a matter of time before there's going to be some kind of parent-teen conflict. And oftentimes, if the teens don't smarten up, the dads just throw them out of the house. Okay? They just throw them out of the house. Mothers, they tend to, I guess, be a little more copacetic with their son's bad behavior because maybe mothers are a little more needy, that type of thing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the majority of dads don't put up lip with their freaking boys for too long. Once a boy hits a certain age, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, if the boy is like a freaking mouthpiece, out the door, right? Where, what I'm trying to say is, like, he doesn't care if Andre trash talks me. He didn't ground him for that. He grounded him for not doing his schoolwork in a timely manner. So Andre didn't learn anything in those 4 days. All he learned was Marcane was reasonable in the grounding process, but it didn't change the behavior in the least in terms of why I want to ground him. What I want to see good for him outside of this spiraling down into stupidity where, he just, because this is stupid, but this shit's real. And I know I'm not the only adult that's facing it because I've already seen other kids with their parents recording them talking and acting this way.
Now, bye.
Yeah, you seen that, eh? That's my son. Boom. Andre, get out of here. Leave me alone. Don't, F you. Don't talk to me. Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Not right.
What time you plan on coming home? What time you plan on minding your business?
And if you're going to constantly be treated like this by the loved ones in your house, I don't care if you're 20, a young parent, I will just say, like, in your 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, or when you're getting into my age, which is 63, if you're going to be abused like this by your own children and by your grandchildren coming up in the freaking ranks while your children allow it to happen and use whatever as an excuse to gain brownie points with the bad behavior of the child because you don't want the child to grow up and learn to take responsibility for their own freaking laundry or wash dishes or whatever. Because if you say that to the child and the child learns that they don't have to do it because uncle said so it makes it harder for the mom or the nana or the grandpa or whoever the hell's looking after that kid. What does that say? It says that you should not be here. Otherwise, the only person that's changing in the household will be you. And the only place you're going to be going down is to be nothing less than nothing more than a damn dog. Something that people can just keep kicking you around town. Like, seriously.
Let me know, then I'll let you know. Deal? Deal. Got it. Bye.
Son, I hope you know the sink full of dishes.
Gotta hope you know you're the one that put them there. Go wash them.
Yeah, you're the one that put him there. You go wash him. Mm-hmm.
You need to take out the trash.
And you need to knock before you come in my room. Get out and try again.
Yeah, you need to take out the trash. You need to knock before you come into my room. Get out of here. I get that. Maybe not exactly like that, but that's the kind of shit that I have to deal with when Andre's crashing after he's been on the computer for hours and hours and hours. Because if I take the computer away after a week or two, he doesn't talk like that. You see, that's the thing. As soon as the computer's back, oh my God, give it 1, 2, 3 days, and it's right back to square one. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And the more my son reinforces the bad behavior by ignoring it, the harder it gets for me. It's true. Yeah. So I'm not out of the woods yet. I still may have to walk away here, people. Because I tell Andre, I'm not going to live my last days being angry almost every day over stupid shit. Okay? It's okay to grow up. You'd think you'd want to grow up and want to be responsible and a respectful, trustworthy, dependable, honest young man. At the rate you're going right now, though, you're becoming borderline freaking delinquent here. Right? Well, my son is, well, it's your fault. You know. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, have you ever stopped to think about what you've been doing since you moved in that fucking girl? What happened to the happy-go-lucky guy that we used to love compared to that man who's been nothing but a bully and bullied himself into a position of authority where Andre's got to shake in his boots, pretend that he's willing and able to do anything that you ask him only because he doesn't want you to frown on him, because what he knows is that as long as you stay angry with me and pick on me, you won't pick on him. So of course he's going to try and please you. Well, he's acting like you the way you act towards me. And then it just makes me think of parents when they split up and they're co-parenting that one kid. And they use the one kid as a pawn to hurt each other. Well, the kid grows up confused and dysfunctional. And I don't got energy for that kind of games. I already raised my 5 kids with stupid dads. It's bad enough I got a stupid son. I don't need a stupid son that acts like a stupid fucking part-time dad here. You know? And be a hypocrite about it yet. So I took the court away. And now I'm being accused of being unreasonable because Andre knows he's not going to get it back in 4 freaking days from me. It's shape up or ship out. And if you don't want to do that, then I'll freaking ship out.
Oh. What type of shit are you on? If you live in my roof, you gotta follow my rules. Your roof and your rules. As soon as I can afford it, I'll be getting an apartment and I will never be a part of your life again. Get out!
When you get a chance, I need you to mop the floor.
When you get a chance, I need you to ask one of your other kids. I did it last time.
Hey, we got company coming over an hour. I need this room clean.
You and I both know company's not coming in my room. So why the would I clean it? Start making some sense and then start making your way out my room. Close the door, Dad.
I need you to...
Why did you have 3 kids if you only planned on bothering one? Leave me the alone. For the love of God. Shit, man.
Your girlfriend sleep by 11.
You making her leave isn't gonna stop anything. You know that, right? We're still gonna in the car on the way home. But yeah, I got you, brother.
I always got to do everything around the house. You never want to clean up.
And I always gotta hear you complain. You never want to shut up. Looks like we both wish it was different around here, huh?
Yeah, you yell too much, Nana. Well, maybe because you provoked me. Like, how many times do I have to say something? And then when I get mad, I raise my voice, and then you even provoke me more. And you keep poking the bear. And then when I ask you to stay quiet, you're up in my face, poking me even more with the bear. Maybe if you just would have done the first thing that I asked when I asked it to you, there would be no problems. But no. It's got to be an argument. It's got to be a struggle. Okay, so let's turn off this. Who knows? Just hold on. Almost done this video. I just have to get this ad out of the way. All right, turn on the volume again. Part 4.
The trash getting full. Looks like you better check it out because I know damn well I'm not doing it.
Sounds familiar. I ain't doing it.
Make sure you wash those dishes. Make sure you get out of my room and then I'll think about it. Out. Leave. Bye. Close the door.
I'm getting sick
Yeah.
and tired of you talking in class. You need to learn how to shut up. I'm getting sick and tired of you talking right now. You need to learn how to shut up.
Oh, yeah. Big time. That sounds familiar.
Out the bathroom now.
Maybe not so much swearing, but when that comes, it doesn't stop because they're grown now, eh? And then they blame you for it. Yeah.
You need to schedule a haircut appointment. Your hair getting too long. You need to schedule a time to get mind your business. I don't want a haircut. Leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. I listen to that quite a bit. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Didn't I tell you to clean this room?
Didn't I tell you to knock before you come to my room? Get the out, Mom.
Didn't I tell you to knock before you came into my room, Mom? Get the F out of my room, Mom. Think about that one.
Stop doing that shit. Close the door.
Yeah, stop doing that. Close the door. Yeah, so who's the parent and who's the child here?
Privacy, man. I need to go pick up your sister from school. That's your child, not mine. Don't put your responsibilities on me just because you're lazy as shit. I don't have any kids. So
Yeah, I don't want to help with my brother or my sister. I shouldn't have to. They're not my responsibility. Hell no. I'm just a lump in a log that likes to suck out all the resources like a parasite from you, right? And then when I grow up, I still won't be happy. I will accuse you as a kid and you're my parent that you didn't give me enough and you still ain't giving me enough and you sure in the hell didn't buy me a house. Dad. Yeah, so F you, Dad. But he's still living at home. Yeah, okay. Right. Or even if he's not living at home, he's going home for something. Yeah. Waiting for Dad to die. Yeah. Go looking underneath the mattress. Only nowadays, these individuals, so-called sons and daughters, they're more vicious about it than they were back in the day when my grandmother was alive. At least my grandmother got to live until age 86. Nowadays, do parents get to live that long before their children turn into little green-eyed monsters and God knows what, just so that they can go looking for that money under a mattress? I'm just saying. The way they treat their parents these days, a lot of these kids or their caregivers with their mouth, because it's a systemic problem, because it's not coming from the households per se, as it is from the influence of the internet in general, whether it's on a cell phone or it's through these games or through these videos. If Andre was to watch this by himself without me putting an input into it, or being around, and he was just by himself watching his video, the impact of this video would be a lot more pronounced, where it would influence his behavior to act like this to one degree or another, whether it's just coming into the game and testing the waters to see if he can talk to me like that, or whether it's to reinforce what he already does and makes it worse for me, because it's being trivialized, where he becomes desensitized to the severity of the bad behavior and the short-term and the long-term consequences around this. Because for these individuals, young people, boys and girls, to reinforce this type of attitude within their main frame of their brain as it's developing will not grow up to be wholesome individuals. They just won't. Because it's not wholesome behavior. But try and tell that to a kid that thinks it's normal to act like this because he can watch videos like this, or his friends on the computer when they're playing games or whatever act like this, talk like this. And because he got away with it and his uncle basically condones it, he thinks he can continue doing it. So you tell me how Andre is going to grow up to be a wholesome human being. Long term, at the rate that he's going if he doesn't smarten up. And the only way I can get him to smarten up is by taking away the computer. For a while anyway. Honestly, I'd like to take it away for 6 months to a year. That's what my gut tells me to do as a parent. But we got cell phones now. So even if I was to take away the computer, the cell phone would just replace it. And then it makes me think of, those boot camps. Yeah. Boot camps for computers and kids.
You take care, buddy. You go do it.
Every day of the week, all you do is play the game. You never stop.
Every day of the week, all you do is bother me. You never stop.
Yep. That's a classic. I get that every day of the week. Every day of the week. Some days worse than others. It's like punishment to me. It feels like a punishment to me.
The grass in the backyard needs to be cut.
You know what a lawnmower is? Stop acting brand new and go get it.
Yeah, we need some yard work done. Go do this. I don't want to. I don't have to. Why should I? Okay.
Finish in the bathroom and into the field.
When are you gonna go ask one of your other kids to do some shit? God damn, Dad. You ask me to do everything like I'm your only child, and we know damn well I'm not. Ask someone else for a change. Shit. You're 18. I shouldn't be cleaning up after you.
And you also shouldn't be having kids outside of marriage, but it looks like you already did that 3 times, didn't you? You're very familiar with doing things you shouldn't do. Keep cleaning that shit up. This ain't your first rodeo. You'll be alright.
You planning on getting off the game today? You plan on leaving me alone today? Let me know your plan.
Yep. Classic. That's what I go through. And my son wants to ignore it.
Then I'll let you know my plans. Deal? Great. Get out. Bye.
Yeah. As long as Andre does his math in his 3 sentences, it's all good. Andre can behave any other way that he wants. He doesn't have to do dishes. He doesn't have to take out the garbage. He doesn't have to do his laundry. He doesn't have to grow up to do anything because he's just a kid. A kid that's allowed to sit on a computer for 10, 12 hours, unless, of course, he doesn't do his schoolwork. That's what I mean by the gap when parents are co-parenting, right? To try and make, have a child grow up with balance with their personality, but not when one is pitting against the other, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to pit my grandson against my son. I'm asking my son to help me to correct bad behavior in my grandson as he's learning to grow up to be a mouthpiece and aggressive because of the influences that are molding his personality in a bad kind of way, where the only way I can control that is by taking away a computer. But as soon as I give it back, within less than a week, 2 to 3, 4 days, that's it. It's done. And I'm right back to square one. with really no help. Like literally, my son wanted to slam the door in my face today because he didn't want to hear what I had to say because he was too busy trying to convince me of what he was saying was what happened when that's not what happened. We were talking about something else, and he was interpreting it wrong. When I took my government to court over what happened, and instead of seeing it for what it was in terms of a cover-up and a negligent government not wanting to be held to account to its legislation, my son tried to twist it to suit whatever it was that he was saying. And because I was catching it, in my opinion, and I was already upset and riled up, so I'm like, blah, 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 and then he does it, and I'm like, huh, and then he goes, well, you know, I'm going to slam the, through the paper, and he went ready to slam the door. He literally slammed the fucking door in my face, just like this stupid shit that you're seeing here. And it wouldn't be the first time he's done it, because he's already done it. But I have nobody else to help me with Andre at this point, outside of him. And I just would like to think that my son is smarter than this. But you can't expect much from somebody that's never had to raise kids to understand what I'm talking about or what I'm going through. Because as far as I'm concerned, I still go through it with him in terms of my son. Like, he hasn't quite grown up yet, in my opinion.
How many times I gotta tell you to take out this trash? You wouldn't have told me.
Sons don't slam the door in their mother's faces because they can't handle a fucking conversation. How about that?
Oh, just take the shit out yourself.
Just letting you know the sink is full of dishes.
Okay, so what you can do is you can go find someone who cares and you can go tell them, because I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't give a
Yeah. I can hear that coming out of Andre's mouth when he's being all cocky and yippity yip. Yeah, because he's learning it from somewhere else.
like not one single
Okay. You need to learn how to clean up after yourself. Oh, and by the way, there's still dishes in the sink.
You need to learn how to knock before you walk in my room. Oh, and by the way, your attitude still stinks. Get out.
Oh, by the way, your attitude still stinks. That's a son talking like that to their parent. I think this parent is supposed to be the quote unquote mother. Yeah. Because you don't know what's going to pop up out of their mouths. It just comes out of nowhere. But you see, that's the thing. No, it's coming from somewhere. And these games that they're playing is a big influence. And my son has been playing computer games when he was like a kid. So it's ingrained in him too. I told you in a video a long time ago that whatever my son was doing and Marina was doing, it felt like I was in a computer game. And I don't play computer games. But I felt like I was the target in the computer game and I was being attacked by two separate people. Well, that's kind of what it's like, you know, in the real world, like, you know, right? If you don't play computer games and, you know, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're asking for help and, you know, or whatever, or, you know, you expect, you know, everybody's got chores and maybe I don't call it chores, but, you know, I don't need to ask you to take out the garbage when you can see it's been sitting there and smelling for 3 freaking days, you know, and when I do ask you, you still ignore me. And then I ask you again and you still ignore me. And then you might get cheeky with me and that will give you a reason not to do it because now you're mad at me because I threatened to take away the computer and therefore now you don't think you have to do anything, even though you have it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is I don't know. It's all in the Bible, right? Families will, you know, sons against fathers, fathers against daughters, you know, mothers against whatever. You know, everybody fighting, eh? As they say, they like to keep you fighting on the inside to implode the house, right?
Close the door, bro. What's the matter with you? Why is our trash can still outside?
Probably because you didn't bring it back inside. You ever thought about that? It's not gonna bring itself back in. If you didn't know that, I'm telling you now. Yeah.
Can you please not make the music so loud this time?
In your car, you do what you want to do. In my car, I do what I want to do. If I want to make the music loud, I'm gonna make it loud. Shut the up, sit back and enjoy the ride, Mom.
And stay down. Put me in, coach. I'm gonna hit a game winner.
When are you gonna cut the grass?
When are you gonna ask one of your other kids? You have 3. Leave me the hell alone.
The grass needs to be cut. I don't want to do it. Morning glory needs to be pulled. I don't have to. I don't want to go outside. You can't make me.
Introducing grammar.
Yeah. Who cares about that?
You know I'm sick and tired of seeing on this damn game.
It's the only way I know how to deal with these ads, right?
And the next time you walk in my room, close your eyes. You won't have to see me or my damn game. Simple solution to a simple problem. Get out.
The dog needs to be fed. You know what a dog food at? Can't you see I'm on a game right now? Get out, dog. You're 21. If you can't follow my rules, then you need to start thinking about moving out of my house.
I started thinking about this shit 3 years ago. I just didn't have the money to do it. But trust me, as soon as I get the money, I'm out of here, and you won't see me again through the holidays. I swear to God.
Yeah, that's right. You get threatened. As soon as you call them on their little bullshit, they start threatening you. What happened here? Is it over now?
Honey, that's enough games for tonight. Go to bed.
Can I please have 5 more minutes, Mom?
No, turn the game off right now. I'm not going to repeat myself.
Okay, yes, ma'am. What am I lagging?
All right, honey, that's enough game for the night. Time for bed.
Hold on, Mom, hold on.
I mean, now, Junior, put the game
Will you
down.
shut the up? I mean, damn. So annoying. Take the fun out of everything. No wonder Dad left.
Yeah, take the fun out of everything. You don't allow me to have fun. You don't want me to be fun, or you don't want me to have fun. You're ruining my fun. I hear it every day. Every day.
If I was him, I would have left too. Get out, man.
You've been on it for 10 freaking hours and you say I'm not giving you fun? Okay. I don't think so. But Uncle Marquez said I could be on it all night. Okay. I don't think he meant till 8:30 in the morning. Well, yeah, he did. No. Don't you understand you're going to make yourself sick? No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Body needs sleep. But I don't want to. I want to play with my friends. You're ruining my fun.
Go. Get out, man. Oh, Mom, can we stop at McDonald's on the way home?
No, Junior, we have rice at home.
But we've been eating rice for a whole week. I don't want rice anymore.
I don't care what you want, Junior. We have rice at home, and rice is what you'll be eating. Now shut up and put your seatbelt on.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, Mom, can we stop at McDonald's on the way home?
No, Junior, there's rice at home.
Well, did you ever take into consideration that maybe I don't want rice? God damn.
Excuse me?
I did not stutter, Tanya. I don't want rice. I want McDonald's. Now pull into the McDonald's drive-thru or I'm running away. The choice is yours. My bag's already packed.
Fine.
Exactly what I thought. No ice in my drink and extra sauce on my fries. Come on.
If you don't give me what I want, I'm going to threaten you with something.
Oh, now. Chop, chop. Mom, can I get these for school?
No, honey, you shouldn't be eating in class.
But Mom, the teacher said we can't.
I don't care what the teacher says. Your mama says no, so put it back now.
Yes, ma'am. Mom, can I get these?
No, you shouldn't be eating in class. Put it back.
But Mom,
I said no. Put it back.
It's either you're going to let me get these or I'm going to tell the church you and Pastor Jimmy been
Yep. Threats. Yep. Falsely accusing you of something. anything. Yeah.
You know what, son? Get whatever you want.
See, that's why I love you, mama. That's why I love you. You so goddamn thoughtful. That's why I love you, mama.
Yeah. As long as you give them what they want, they're happy. Yeah. But as soon as you say no, if it's something that they really want, oh my God. Twitch.
Buddy, let me tell you, I was just ripping down the neutral zone.
Are we now? Was that done on Twitch? Andre likes to go on Twitch. Yeah. So maybe he's learning it on Twitch. Well, he's definitely learning it from his games. I don't know if this is over or what. I think it's over now. And I know I'm not the only one. Mm-mm. And these kids are starting to get a zombie-like look to them. Yeah. Okay, so stop sharing. I was watching, people doing these kind of videos, right? And these kids are coming in with the zombie look. Let me see if I can do it. Did that look like a zombie look? With the eyes all spaced out and just, I don't know. As they're talking back to their parents and being rude. So I don't know. Anyway, I just... I took away the computer cord and it's going to be gone in more than 4 freaking days. I can tell you that right now. And I don't care. Life is too short to be arguing over I don't want to call them petty because they're not petty, right? Learning to grow up and be responsible for your environment, respectful to those around you, and just basic morality and that kind of stuff. That's not petty. That's important. What is it? Good cop, bad cop? I guess I'm the bad cop for taking the computer cord away. Only this time, I can't be too quick with the grace period. Because Andre learns with me there's no consequences, because as soon as I take away the computer, I don't know, I end up feeling sorry for him because he is a good kid. You see, that's the thing. He is a good kid. So I end up bending and giving it back to him a little too soon. Oh, I'm grounding you for a month. Ends up being 2 days, and then I even buy him something. like a mic with a soundboard. So now he has to try the mic with the soundboard to make sure it works, right? Even though he's grounded off the computer for a month. And once he gets permission for me to hook it up and try it out, just in case we have to send it back to Amazon, it's game on. He doesn't give me back the cord, and he's back at it. And within a week, we're right back to where we start. I told him there is no more grace periods. So will I ground him for a month? No, I'm not going to ground him for a month. But it definitely has to be more than 4 days, because I can't be putting up with mouth. There's a fine line in there, a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah, maybe I can understand. But when it becomes habitual and it's used as a means to, to get their way, right? To get their way, where, they think they're the parents and they don't even treat you like kids. They treat, I don't know what the hell. That's not like, there's role reversal. You can't get caught up with that with your kids. You can't. I never really had that problem with my kids. because they weren't really that mouthy. The only one that was mouthy, was maybe Brooks, but that didn't happen until he got into his 20s, but he left home. So he wasn't around very long to be mouthy, right? And then Sierra, but hers was for different reasons, because of the drugs and the people that were her handlers out in the community that were constantly trying to draw her out and, away from home. And it was different. But when it came to Tisha wasn't really mouthy. Shmay wasn't really mouthy. Marcane wasn't mouthy until he got into his middle 20s. It was like in around 24, 25, 26. Every now and then he'd have a tantrum, just whatever, but not mouthy. He didn't really become mouthy until Marina showed up, because, in my opinion, she encouraged it. He felt empowered because it was 2 against 1. And now, he's doing good with Andre with the school and stuff, and I know that if Andre ever talked to him the way he talked to me, it would be a whole different story. And it doesn't matter what I say. My son's not going to accept that, because he's operating on a different level where it makes me think of those parents that co-parent and are just out to get each other, and they use the kid to do it, right? Which isn't good for the kid. And I told my son, I don't need you working against me. I need you working with me. So, this is what I want to do in terms of taking a wipeout board, putting down priorities so that Andre can see for himself what life is about, versus thinking, and then, because the games are not the same as they were when Marcane was a kid. They're just not. And there wasn't that many kids on the internet in those days, because there wasn't that many computers around. Computers were just coming out, right? I got my first computer in 95. It was a 1995 computer. I probably still have the old operating system with the CD and his book with the, serial numbers. I bet you I still have that. And if not that, I've definitely got the 98. And there wasn't like 50 million kids all being a computer Rambo, playing violent games, talking to each other with disrespect, and yada, so that when they, get off the internet, they bring it right into the house and start singling out who they think they can pick on in the house. And in this situation, it would be me before my son. So my son needs to grow the hell up and catch a clue. Yeah. So maybe if he watches this video, he'll figure it out, because if he thinks parenting is easy and he hasn't even parent one freaking kid yet, full time, that is, wait till he has one and they grow up and they don't turn out to be the way he wants them to be. Due to no fault of his own. Yeah, due to no fault of his own. Before he figures it out, that'll be too long. He needs to figure it out now. Just like and I'm going to leave it on this note. Just like I tell my son, just like I tell Andre, God knew what he was doing when he made you, when it comes to helping with Amari. Seriously. Okay? Well, I'd like to think that God knew what he was doing when he made Marcane when it comes to helping Andre. So hopefully my son will catch a clue. Because Andre is a good kid. You know? Lots of good kids out there. Lots of parents are struggling with this issue. I'm not the only one.